What's up and welcome to Zero to X. My name is Daniel and today with me, as always.
Hey guys, my name is Amara.
What's up, my man?
Bro, I'm great, man.
How was your week? Mm-hmm.
How was my week? I had a tough week. I can't even lie.
And
Productivity wise, and I'm trying to think back and I'm
that's
wondering
what
why.
caused it. What did it look like?
I can't remember. Like typically, I'm sure of what my week looked like with regards to how I allocated time, but I'm remembering this week. I'm just like, yeah, for the most part, I struggled. I struggled for a number of days. Yeah. How was your week?
My week was rather mellow. Ended up having 3 days of holidays instead of two.
The holidays happened. I kept wondering what happened, why I was struggling with
Ended up
productivity.
having 3 days of holidays instead of two, and there were things I needed to do, so it was a little frustrating. Like there were some bank runs and then some like personal runs I needed to make that were a little time sensitive. So, like I mean, the holidays are good, right? You can.
Yeah, they were.
For the people that take them,
Bro.
for the people that take for the people that
Crazy.
take the holidays, right? They were good, but in certain jobs, in certain industries, capitalism never just really sleeps.
Bro.
So you like you're still available. So it was pretty much the same for me. Yeah, like it was just their week. Slightly annoying because I couldn't do some things that I needed or wanted to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that's about it. It's just still the same typical showing up and and getting things done as much as we can. Although admittedly I also didn't get as much done as I would have liked to for whatever reasons, right? And it was a little surprising to me, not necessarily in a bad or a good way,
Okay.
but because it's like more time for you to do the things that you you might have to do that isn't your regular 9 to 5 or whatever, and started making me think about a lot of things. Right? I was like, is it a motivation problem? Is it a discipline problem? Is it an I'm tired and I don't want to do anything problem? Is it a I'm just hanging in there problem? Is it an I'm bored problem? Is it an I can't be bothered problem? Is it a drive problem?
Yeah.
These were the things that were just running all through my head, right? Because I was just like, what to make of this? And then the magic is, as Amar and I have shared a lot, is self-awareness is really important. I really, really love that episode in season 1 where we did about self-awareness. We'll probably link it in the description. Really, really good listen. But when you go through like my review session for my week is tomorrow. I have it on Sundays.
Okay.
So like I'm gonna like really, really deep dive and figure out like output, input, my feeling, state of mind and whatnot, right? Because yeah, it was a really interesting week in that regard. So but I think the thing that I stayed on the most, or more than the other things, was drive. That's kind of like what I stayed on more. That could there be something about this that haven't quite figured out or didn't quite figure out well this week that made me not as productive? I don't know if that makes sense to you.
It does, bro.
So like, beautiful segue into what we need to talk about today, right?
100%.
So it's like, yeah, we're talking about drive, right? Essentially, how to
sustain,
how to start,
and sustain drive,
pretty much. And there's a lot that can be said about. Esesa asked a really, really interesting question. He said, what's the difference between drive and motivation? Bro. And innately I knew or I imagined that it was two different things, maybe it's two similar things, but like there was some difference between like the two concepts, but I couldn't quite figure out.
Yeah.
Bro, I had to go and
I had to, bro. I was all over Google, guys. I was like, but interestingly, I think drive is slightly different from motivation.
I think so too.
I think it's slightly different from motivation.
I think so too.
Because Google used the word in one of its definitions. It said determination. So it's essentially trying to sustain determination. And
That's a really interesting definition. Sorry to cut you short, but that's really interesting.
I'm just like thinking about that with regards to what we've said we want to talk about today. And for me, it's I've found myself around people who a lot of people around me are 9-to-5ers. You get me? Shout out to you guys making it happen for capitalism.
LMAO.
But so a lot of people around me are 9-to-5ers. And the thing with 9-to-5 is, like I was having a conversation with my brother, and 9-to-5 and entrepreneurship are very interesting paths to follow for your life, because they both have their battles.
100%.
Yeah, but typically the thing with 9-to-5 is it allows you to not bother so much about certain things about life. Except you are an avid listener of 0 to X1 and a strong member in the community. You would typically want more out of your life. Yeah. But generally 9-to-5 allows you, it takes the pressure off a lot of things. Like, the paycheck is coming in. Money answers a shit ton of the problems.
A lot.
So I get this paycheck.
Especially if
I can just relieve myself of all the stress.
There are a lot of things you will need to think about.
Exactly. And I'm saying that because typically you would find that for a person in that kind of situation, there is, first of all, one, a safety net. And then two, you can easily say, I'll deal with this problem tomorrow. Right now, I don't need this. I don't need this. I just want to relax. Like, there's times when you can easily justify, I didn't come to this life just to stress. I want just real. I just want so real. I just want, give me comfort for today. Like, there's times when you can justify stuff like that. And it's easier to justify with the 9-to-5. It's a lot easier to justify with the 9-to-5 because you know the paycheck is going to come in. I'm just going to do what I need to do to get the work done and to get my monthly paycheck. And in that kind of situation, you would then ask yourself, if I'm me looking at this kind of person, I would ask myself, how can this person start and sustain drive? Because I'm like, for me to convince you to stay determined for a goal, and the thing, and here's a beautiful thing, so that I don't ignore this as well. For some people, determination and goals and the need to be driven might just be so that you can get to some better paying job or some better outlook for your life. That's what it could look like for some people. But so that would mean that in channeling your efforts, you don't have to do too much. You just you know what to do to move the needle in your favor with regards to being able to get a better job. But if you want more than that, that's when the trick usually begins to show itself.
If you are choosing greatness,
it begins to show itself. Because I will not ask this, how do you, why should you stay driven? This is the question, why? Why bother? Like, there is comfort, there is peace of mind, there is serenity. Like, if you're working from home, it's even worse. Because like, why bother? Like, these guys are going to pay me either way. So I understand it. I think that's the first thing I would say. I can relate with it. But the question is, I think the question at the end of the day is, at least one question is, for the things that you want, is there a time limit? So with that time limit question, the next question will be, is it self-imposed or is it something that actually exists out of your control? If there's a time limit to the things you want, it's the first place to look for a reason to be driven. Because
I like this line of thinking.
Because just before I allow you to share your thoughts, I just remember the quote Alex usually makes. He said, 30 is not the new 20.
Yeah.
This is just an excuse to take 10 years more to get the things that you could have done from 20.
100%.
So
Alex doesn't let people off the hook.
He doesn't let people off the hook.
He doesn't let people
He doesn't.
off the
He
hook.
drags all of us by our belt
Everybody, man.
But I see his point in this context, because if there was no time limit to the things that you decided to do,
there wouldn't be a sense of urgency.
No sense of urgency means I can just push it to some other time when
100%.
I feel like
100%. 100%. I like this line of thinking where, in terms of drive, regardless of if it is
intrinsic.
No, regardless of if you are working in 9 to 5 or you are like chasing things by yourself, trying to build something by yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And it's one of two things. It's either drive comes from things being time bound, and time bound might be if they're self-imposed, or like there are actual artificial deadlines that impose impose a sense of urgency, right? When I think about drive, it's like it's that thing that keeps you going. It's that thing that should keep you up at night.
Should
keep you
up at night. I like how you said should.
It's that thing.
It's a sense of urgency
that still should.
It's like,
keep
I
you
want
going.
to jackpot. Is it this year or next year,
bro?
Like, and if it's next year, like, do I have to bother myself about so and so right now?
Yeah.
Or can I just push it to tomorrow?
Yeah. So when I think about drive and staying driven, it reminds me of an episode we did. I think it was the lifelong learning episode.
Okay.
Again, the first question in my mind, and while I mentioned that I want to observe or share this observation that I've made, it seems that the solution to almost every problem or roadblock or challenge you might encounter in this journey of self-realization or greatness is to go back to the beginning and ask, what do you want? How bad do you want it?
Bro.
It almost seems... See, guys, it almost seems that way because every time we've had to talk about this,
we somehow end up there.
We just because it's like just peeling back the layers of
If you
what is going on, what are you dealing
enough,
with,
you will
find it, right? So thinking about that, and it's like, so thinking about drive, right? The first thing is, and because different goals elicit different kinds of bodily responses, right?
Yes,
because it's
100 solid point.
It's like
100%.
if I want to buy a shirt, it's not like it's exciting if I say I want to buy a car.
Yeah.
It's two things I want to get. Maybe like the shirt is like...
If I have to move out, it is not
do you understand?
As...
If I'm buying a house, for instance, do you get? Like if I need to buy a $200 Giorgio Armani watch, for instance, right? It's not as exciting as, oh, I'm buying a Merc. I'm buying a Benz, bro. I'm buying it's two different levels of it. It elicits, and this might be two things I want that I seem to want to attain or would be able to attain at a future date. But the effect or the impact of getting these two things and then the process of wanting these two things is disproportional. Like one is, at least to me, like we say, guys, we typically used to say, we haven't said it in a long time, but we'll say it again, everything is nuanced. Everything is nuanced. By nuance, we mean that the way it might be in one case for one person might not be the way it will be in another case for another person.
100%, bro.
Right. So, the point being, for me, wanting to and eventually getting the watch that I want, maybe it's a $200 Giorgio Armani watch or a $7,000 entry-level Rolex that's secondhand on the used market, or 100 to 250K for a more luxurious supercar. Like, whatever these things are, it's always brings me back to the first question, number one. What do you want? How big is this thing do you want? How big is this thing that you want? And how bad
do you want it?
Yeah. Whenever you're feeling like, oh, you're not as, for lack of a better word, motivated, or you are losing the determination you had because, see, everybody starts off with goals with initial gra-gra.
Bro.
It is necessary to overcome inertia.
Yes, it is necessary.
It is necessary. That initial burst of energy, like, yes, this is why more and more I appreciate qualities such as grit, determination, persistence, because it adds useful emotion and sentiment to the pursuit of not giving up. Do you understand?
hear you,
Because
I
there is
hear
a
you.
way you can just be robotic about these things. We've said that success is boring.
Yes.
That the day-to-day of chasing
Yeah.
is boring, right? But there is a way it can become so robotic that, and sometimes it will be like that. Sometimes you might find that there is nothing like you can necessarily do in that situation to feel better. But if that thing persists for a while to the point where you don't even feel like doing as much, it's reducing your output, it's reducing how much you're willing to put in.
Yeah.
No, bro, like something needs to change. Something needs to change about that situation because it is starting to affect the pace at which you can go.
Yeah.
So what I found, both in our discussion and then thinking about times where I've dealt with it or seen people deal with it, is it's always a question back to the beginnings.
Yes, it is.
What is this thing that you want? How big is this thing that you want? And how badly do you want this thing that you want?
Even why you want it is important. Because here's what I found. So I watched the video. Social media can mess with you, man. In good ways and in bad ways. So I watched a video where like the guy was basically interviewing all these old people and asking them, what was the one thing that you wish you spend more time on? Or what was the one thing that it was two questions. The first one being the one thing that you wish to spend more time on.
Yep.
That you didn't get the opportunity to spend a lot of time on.
Yeah.
One. Two, the one thing that you spent a lot of time on that you've later found to maybe be overrated or be not worth the pursuit. And the answer for the second question was always money. So as the one thing that I spent a lot of time on, I shouldn't have. The answer for the first one was relationships. The one thing that I should have spent more time on as relationships. And I'm like, this now makes you really question why you want the goals that you want.
Exactly.
I think this
is a very important perspective. Yeah.
That is why I personally always advocate for your goals being well-rounded.
Yeah.
So that you not just capture money goals, but you also have relationship goals, business goals, you have career goals, you have spiritual goals, if you are spiritual, you have physical health goals, you have mental health goals.
100%.
Every area, leave no stone unturned. Because
a well-balanced life.
A well-balanced life. That's why I advocate for that, because the question at some point becomes, why does this thing matter?
Exactly.
Like, you want this goal, you want this drive. I mean, you're doing for this thing and all of that. But in going back to the beginnings, or at the point where you find yourself at some sort of low, you begin to ask, or if you find yourself consuming this kind of content by not because of your choosing, but because you just stumbled across it.
FYP, the algorithm is just
bro. And then you just be like, okay, but why do I really want, let's say now, 1 billion USD? Why do I want to be valued at 1 billion USD? What does that do for me? Because I mean, we said on the podcast that at some point money loses
its marginal,
At some point, like money,
like beyond a particular point,
everything that money can do, it has done. And for a lot of people, I think that number is around 10M
USD.
At like anything above 10M USD for a lot of people is just play money. It's just play money.
Beyond 10M USD,
like you can argue
a flight.
Exactly.
You can rent.
You can do a lot of things with credit. You don't need to expend your own cash. You can move. You can
do some damage. Some damage.
Like,
you might not be able to shake the nation's economy like our billionaires.
But
I don't know if that's what you want in life. I don't know if that's what you want in life, but yeah.
Oh my God.
But you can do some damage.
Yeah. So the point being, you now have to start questioning yourself. I'm like, why do I want 1 billion? What? Like Tenny said, I want to be a billionaire. Okay, why?
Bro,
why?
Like this,
because that is what will make you choose. Not necessarily, that's not the only thing, but like I want to make this point regardless.
Yeah.
That at some points or at those low points is what will make you consider, okay, I need to still give this thing the effort and consistency that I have been putting in.
Yeah.
Because my why is worth it. One.
Yeah.
Two, also because, I mean, I want this thing bad enough. And like, I'm convinced, the conviction is there, like it's not lacking. But like I said, that's not the only reason, because I mean, you also find that people typically say that at certain points on the journey to wealth, money just begins to flow. Like it's kind of like something. There's a way there was a video I watched a long time ago. The way the guy explained it simply is, he said, think about a massive ball on the floor, on a slope that is, on something that is just a little bit sloping downwards. It's not a massive slope.
Yeah, it doesn't have
tiny.
It's not so steep.
0 to 100k USD is you trying to push that ball to start moving.
Yeah. But before you know
by
it,
when you're from like 10M, 50M, like the thing just keeps rolling.
To set in.
Yeah, the money just keeps coming.
100%.
Like the way Naval puts it, and beautiful way he put it. He said, now I am not looking. He said, now I have too many opportunities. What I don't have is time.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Very true.
So like at some point on that journey to greatness and wealth, it just becomes free fall. Like everything, the money comes so far, especially so far you're good with money. Because if you make clumsy decisions, you're going to lose it. It goes. I mean, 5 laws of money, richest man in Babylon. Anyway, so that I don't digress, my entire point being, your why plays a big role in determining. And I'm saying this, I said this with the money example, but it plays across every other thing, because you would come across stuff on social media that makes you question, why should I even stand up right now? I'm lying down, I'm watching this thing on Netflix, and like, I need this. And you can rationalize that you need this. I need this in this moment.
I need this day off, I need a break. You can justify it in your head 100%.
So the question is, why bother? Yeah.
I like how we have flowed with this conversation. Again, guys, this is just another reminder that we don't script these conversations beforehand. These are conversations that Amara and I would have on every other week. Yeah. But we now decided to put on a camera and press record on these conversations. I really love what you said about your why. There is how it has been said a lot that it almost seems to be cliche, or people dismiss it as aspire to perspire, or they just don't take it as seriously, right? But these days I found out that when you are humble enough to process knowledge and really, really simply accept what is the wisdom here to be gleaned, it has a more powerful effect
100%
on how you use it.
100%, bro.
Like, if you're not quick to dismiss, I've heard this so many times before. Such a simple thing as reevaluate your why. Go back to the beginning. What do you want? How big is this thing you want? How badly do you want it? Why do you want it, right? It seems like we have like a 4-question framework of things that can put you back in the mental or emotional or physical state that makes you want to just go out and perform. That makes you just want to go out and execute, right? And I will get to the point about like mental and emotional states, right? But I love that we have this 4-question framework. So if you are, in most cases, if you are ever feeling like you are losing drive, go back to the beginning.
How badly do you want it? Why do you want it? You said, what is it that you want? And
how big is what you want?
How big is it?
So if you want to order it normally, it will be, what is it that you want? How big is the thing that you want? How badly do you want it?
Why?
And why do you want it?
Why?
And why? Like, if you can answer these 4 questions over and over and over again, and for yourself, receive with humility the wisdom that this process needs to give, I feel it'll make it a lot easier. You stand a more significant chance of getting back on your horse and just
you need to see. There's a way someone like Grant Cardone says it. Like you say certain things to the point where like they become part of you, and then you when you ask yourself the question, you have the answer instantly.
100%.
Yeah, I'm paraphrasing very loosely, but the point being, you do these things so much because you have to plaster them where they are at the front of your mind every single day, so that you are able to, in your mind, without even thinking deeply about it, just you go through it low or some, like, For example, imagine you are in a situation where you started a fitness journey, but nobody around you works out.
Exactly.
There will be a week that will come where you cannot you
Bro.
cannot make sense of why I should stand up and go and work out. Why? But then I'm like, nah, I know what I want to be like at 70.
100%. Like, you have to ingrain. That's why I said, like, I love words like grit, like determination, like perseverance, because it adds a very needed level of emotionalism and sentiment to that process of not giving up.
I hear you, bro.
You understand? Because is how honestly feelings move people more than logic.
Yeah, it does.
So if we can leverage that to the point where I can be emotional about the fact that I want that thing so bad, because everybody has felt like this at one point in time. Like, you have thought about this goal so much that, guy, you are just raring to
you
go,
break any obstacle.
Like, you are raring to go. You are revving to go so much.
Life will test your convictions,
it
bro.
will test your convictions, but like, again, like, the hack here is in asking these 4 questions, received with humility. Because there is a point in time will come where, if you're not careful, you can dissociate the meaning and impact of what those things are from the answers themselves. Do you get? But it just becomes, oh, why do I want to be rich? I want to take care of my family. It might not be enough to make you stand up.
Yeah.
There are moments like that, which is why the hack, bro. At that point, what do you do?
I just thought about it, bro.
It will not make you stand up, because you might just find out that you are
I absolutely love this point, because I just remember.
Like, bro, there are times that it feels like nothing.
Yeah.
So we don't want to say that, like, we're not trying to say that this 4-question framework, right, is an automatic answer.
Be all end all.
The answer will always still be with you.
Yeah.
It will always still be your responsibility to treat and hold these answers to these 4 questions as sacrosanct and as secret.
I hear you, bro.
Because if you dissociate the meaning and the impact of what these answers should mean for your life, for the people, your loved ones around you, it will make you stand up.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you are the one that makes it work.
Yeah. There was a point Alex made, Hormozy, where he said, and I was having a conversation with Daniel just before the podcast about this, that for him, he found that all the good things that you could get as the reasons why you want to do something were not working for him.
Oh, cute.
He was just at a level where he was angry,
frustrated, desperate.
Like that. You think about it. That's a solid why.
Yeah.
Why? That's a solid why.
Why, bro?
Why do I want?
That's a solid why.
Why do I want money? I am angry. This poverty has made me angry. Bro. Like, I'm frustrated about my current situation of life.
Let me double click into this, so I will show you the power of, you need to make these things stay as annoying as they are.
Yeah.
Comfort is such a bastard.
Comfort is a bastard, bro. Comfort is a and the problem with comfort is that it doesn't need to be massive.
Bro,
tiny comfort.
I can eat, I can watch Netflix, I can play video.
I have Wi-Fi, it doesn't go off.
I have Wi-Fi.
Oh my God.
That comfort is enough for you to say, yeah, fudge everything.
Bro.
It is enough.
It's enough.
It is enough.
Yeah.
It is enough. So that is why, like, when you say, that's
the thing with the time urgency we talked about as well.
I agree. But see, I'm trying to see, there is a person I'm speaking to, because I know I've been there. I've been there when, bro, nothing really can keep you up.
I hear you, bro.
We try to offer are practical steps that can help with this journey. But what I don't want to do is to abdicate responsibility for the change from the people, from you. The change is still you.
It's you.
These things help you. They guide you. They show you a way back to being on track.
I hear you, bro.
But who is still responsible for making this change?
It's you.
It is you.
If nothing changes, nothing will change.
If you don't change anything, nothing changes.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah. Because, bro, there will be that time where, oh, why am I eating this food? I'm tired of eating this food. Bro, let's go and buy Coke. Or a juice.
Yeah.
oh, I want to be eating food at this kind of restaurant, this kind of food. I want to be eating chicken. I want to be eating... Honestly, you should go and buy cold Coke. Maybe you buy Fox or Maryland or whatever tiny thing that you like, one tiny snack that you like. Odds are, in that, for those couple of seconds, might be satiated. And what's crazy is that those tiny moments, you can have many of them that they string long enough and you have delayed and derailed.
They just tie down your action.
So I'm trying to tell you guys that the change is still your responsibility to make happen. It is still your responsibility to make happen. This 4-question framework that we've given: number 1, what do you want? Number 2, how big is this thing that you want? Number 3, how badly do you want it? Number 4, why? And this 4th might be the most important question, but if you go through this 4-question framework, you will start to get back on track. And you receive it with the humility that it needs, that it deserves, for it to affect that point that you are in.
100%. It's how I always say, and I've said a number of times on the podcast, that the thing with that 3rd question, how badly you want it, is if you answer that question with humility,
bro,
the truth of that question and the answer to that question
embarrassing
is
because
how badly you want it.
Because you think you want it badly enough and you realize that
there is no way you would want it badly enough that it won't show.
Bro,
there is no universe that exists,
bro,
where 100%. You want something bad enough and it won't show. There is no person that's an exception to this rule. If I think you want something bad enough, true. It will show.
This is so true because it will hurt your ego admit that you don't want this thing as badly as you should. That's the humility,
bro.
This is why I was like, you need to go through this process with humility because you just naturally assume that the answer should be, I want this badly enough, but really, you don't want it as badly enough. So I almost guarantee that if you go through this 4-question framework, if you go through this 4-step process, with the humility that it needs, you would see the gaps, you would see how you can improve, you see how you can get back on track. I want to say something to another specific group of people. In the going through, in the moment of just going through the motions, doing the things that you need to do, showing up day in, day out, and it starts to feel like, especially if it's what you are trying to achieve, requires a lot of steps or requires long steps. The duration from a start to a milestone or a start to a finish line is a considerable amount of time. I learned this from David Goggins. How do you mentally push through doing that boring, that hard, that difficult thing for long? Because it will wear you out. This is why I said comfort is a bastard.
Bro.
Because it is the alternative. It is the road less traveled.
It is.
Do you understand? It is road more traveled, rather. Like
it is the road more traveled.
Because going through difficulty is the road less traveled, is the path of more resistance. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
And the human body hates resistance.
Your laziness is creativity. Because your body,
that's how your body was designed for comfort.
Like creativity is just like, I need to find better, easier ways of doing certain things. Like there is one way to look at it. I've heard people describe it as such, right? But talking to the person that this thing that you are doing just takes a really long time to do. Maybe it happens to be really hard or difficult. Give you like an easy example. You say you want to run for an hour. You're running 20 minutes in, you know you can start walking. Let me teach you how to fight and win this tiny battle here. Your mind and your body feels it's tired. It's sending signals to your brain that we are tired. This is uncomfortable. We want to go back to being comfortable. That's what it is. But the fact of the matter is it physically, objectively,
does your body have the capacity?
Is it physically possible for you to still move at the 3 or 5 or 10 miles per hour that you have been moving at? Yes. Your mind is just playing tricks on you. It is doing what it was designed and supposed to do. Avoid discomfort, avoid danger,
optimize for comfort.
Optimize Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, it's doing what it is supposed to do.
Yeah.
I said I learned this from David Goggins because he was talking about Hell Week. Navy SEALs.
Navy SEAls, yeah.
Bro, if there's a reason why they call us civilians. Let's just leave it that way. There's a reason why we are civilians.
Oh my God.
There is a reason. The Navy SEALs, the entire boards program and then going into Hell Week is one of the hardest, most mentally challenging.
And there was, bro.
And it is insane.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
I remember.
Bro,
I've read the book, so.
Bro, it is insane.
Yeah.
So put that, compare that or let that represent something that is typically difficult that you typically quit at. Oh, I want to run for 30 minutes. You stop at the 10-minute point, you start walking. Yeah, the walking is work that I put in, right?
Yeah.
But it's not what you wanted to do.
It's not.
But were you capable of continuing to do that thing? Yes. Was it physically possible? Yes. If you can answer yes to that, the state of mind you need to be in is this. The mistake people make is that they start thinking about the end. They start thinking about what's left. All you need to do is be present and think about the next step. Be present, the next step. Be present, the next step. That is all.
That's all.
And you need to sustain this mindset till you finish.
Yeah.
It kind of links back to the thought we typically share. The way to do hard things is to not stop.
You persist, no matter how long you will get there.
And if you think it becomes infuriating,
yeah,
because it almost becomes hopeless.
Yeah,
this is one reason why you think people don't have that drive, because you are doing this thing or you are about to start doing this thing. Sometimes it happens to people at the start. You've been excited about this goal. You've written your plans, Amara style. You have detailed milestone, month on month, week on week, on and on and on and on like that. By the way, guys, you should definitely check out our yearly planner template.
Yeah.
It's up already, and we are making improvements to make it more useful for you guys. And share it with as many of your friends as you like. If you want, you can actually DM. I don't know if Amara has time, but we love you guys. You can actually send us a DM.
Send me a DM. I'll make our time.
We can work on it with you for real, right? Yeah. So sometimes you have made incredible plans on this is what I need to do to achieve this thing. But by the time you look at it, it is a long road. Yeah. It's a hard road. It's a treacherous journey. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All you need, and the thing is that there is no alternate route. There might be different ways, but the difficulty and the challenge it brings will be similar.
Yeah, I hear you.
All you need to do is to not think about the road. It's to not think about the end, because you're thinking about the end as in a place, as a point where you will get comfortable.
Yes.
Where you are back to default.
Yes.
It's ruining your chances. You need to be present in one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
Breathe. One foot in front of the other. Breathe.
One step.
One step.
For that thing.
One word after the other.
Yeah.
One video after another.
Yeah.
One module after the other. You need to be present.
One line after the other. Yeah.
Everybody that got into school finished school. Even if you did not finish, you still spend the requisite amount of years to have taken to finish it ordinarily.
Yeah.
So you can do it for longer, no matter how hard it is.
Yeah.
That is the fact of the matter.
Yeah.
But if you keep on thinking of, when will I, like, it's not helpful.
I hear you,
be present, be engaged in what you're doing, and just one foot in front of the other, and time, like clockwork, will pass.
Yeah.
And you find out that you have gotten to where you're supposed to be.
Super solid point. Bro.
I really hope that you guys find these tips we have shared.
And the thing with the David Goggins analogy is it's as real as it gets.
It's as real as it gets. Because, bro, you have the freezing Pacific Ocean washing over you.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can just stand up.
And be going home. That's like
they don't stop you.
See, there's a statement Alex, guys, I quote Alex so much. Oh my God, there's a statement Alex made in the video I watched. He said, "You are one decision away from changing your life. Whenever you think like this is it, or like when I say this is it with frustration, like with frustration levels are at all-time highs or whatever, you can't see. think about it, guys. As mad as it gets, you can decide today, I want to leave my house. I'm going to enter a bus. I'm going to get to the bus park. I don't have money. But somehow, even if it takes me 3-4 days at the bus park, somehow, somebody or somewhere or something somehow will give me the funds to leave my house, move to this new location. I don't know anybody there, but I can figure something out.
Find work or some employment.
And just like that, you've changed your life.
You've changed your life. One decision
is
away.
One decision away. And you want to see, you can up and do anything. You can just up and do anything. The problem is that we hold ourselves back because of the fear of the unknown. But you in this David Goggins analogy, you can just simply say, oh yes, I'm experiencing too much difficulty. I can up and call it quits.
I know.
On the opposite side of things, rather, you can also just up and say,
yeah,
I choose this. I'm not having any other. I'm not having this anymore. I'm not having this any other way.
We have, if not that we have shared so many practical, helpful steps.
Yeah.
This point that Amara just made might be the best thing you might have heard.
You are one decision
in this
from
entire episode,
if you dip
guys.
It, like no matter what, see, guys, there was something happened to me back in 2017. Myself and a couple of people were stuck in a bus park for 24 hours. And in that moment, it felt like all hell was going to get loose. Because I mean, we were a lot younger then.
Yeah.
And I'm saying bus park outside of our country, by the way. So, but
refugees.
But if you think about it, in that moment, it's like somehow we will get back to our country.
Do you understand?
Like
somehow.
I am not kidding you. We got back to our country without paying. Okay, no. Okay, because we had paid prior. Complicated story, but I don't want to go into details. But the point being, we didn't know how we were going to get the money issues sorted out. We slept in the bus park, but we just knew we'll get back to our country.
100%.
We don't know how.
100%.
Like, and it was just the decision to. I mean, because the other decision was let's go back to our home back in town. We can order a taxi, get back to town. When we get back to town, we'll probably tell somebody to pay for us or something. But let's guys.
You really can up and do anything.
The fear of the unknown does things to your mind, but if you think about it deeply, you really can do anything you want. You really can.
That's such a powerful
It might take
point.
you different lengths of time to achieve different things along that journey, but you really can.
That's such a powerful point. Guys, I hope this has been as enlightening a discussion for you guys.
I love the discussion. I can't lie, guys.
It has been for me. This ranks up there with some of the most helpful things we've ever shared. I personally believe, because to be honest, maybe this is so personal and real to me because I dealt with a lot of these things that we talked about in the past week, and I'm seeing even the things that I say, I'm saying now. I mean, thank God for wisdom and thinking, right? But it'll be interesting to go and try these things that I've shared on myself.
And
it just goes back to what Amara said earlier on in the season. Take your own advice.
Take your own advice.
Like you are smart enough to consult yourself. All right, guys. We hope this was as enlightening a discussion for you as it was for us. Thank you for making 0 to X a part of your day.
As always, guys.
Please continue to like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Thank you guys so much for the love, for the follows, for the shares.
We are going to meet up soon, real soon, and it will be fun to hang out.
Till then,
thank you guys so much.
See you next one. Cheers.